All right. So last time we talked about the Super Falcons, there were reports that the women's AFCON qualification doubleheader against Sao Tome was off. Well, it turns out the report about Sao Tome pulling out was totally true because the Super Falcons move on to the next round of the qualifiers without even taking the field. That being said, we still need to follow the qualifiers to a certain degree. We have to know who we're playing next, and we also have to keep an eye on the competition. And speaking of competition, a couple of shocking results that went down in this qualifiers. Before we do get into that though, please don't forget to like this video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you very much. So yeah, when the draw was done, it was already known that the winner between the Super Falcons and Sao Tome would be facing the winner between Liberia and Cape Verde. The second leg of that matchup took place today. The first leg ended 3-0 in favor of Cape Verde, and Cape Verde finished them off with 3-2 away from home. So that ended it at 6-2 on aggregate, with Cape Verde moving on, and the Super Falcons will be facing Cape Verde in the next round of the AFCON qualifiers, the women's AFCON qualifiers. The first leg of that matchup will take place on Monday, November the 27th, and that will be in Nigeria, while the second leg will be played in Cape Verde on Tuesday, the 5th of December. So Cape Verde is not a team with a whole bunch of history. They played their first international match in 2018, November of 2018, and they're currently ranked 133rd in the world. They're looking to qualify for their first major international event. They have played in 2 WAFCON Zone A tournaments. Of course, Nigeria is in WAFCON Zone B. They played in 2 tournaments, 2020 and 2023. They finished 4th in the 2020 edition, and in the 2023 edition, of course, this year they finished 2nd, losing to Senegal in the final of the event. I mean, it's a long shot to expect Cape Verde to defeat the Super Falcons. I mean, the Super Falcons should be heavily favored going into that game, but at the same time, they should never expect Cape Verde to just roll over and allow them to do what they want to do. So you're going to have to work for victory in this situation. Hopefully we get all our players to be available for it. But either way, we're going to move from this situation and talk about a couple of the shockers that I've seen in this qualification series. First, we're going to talk about Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast took on, who they take on? They took on Tanzania. And I felt like that was kind of a tough matchup. It is kind of a shocker, but I wouldn't say that much because you saw what Tanzania's under 17s did at the World Cup. Really solid squad. You will only expect that it's a matter of time that they'll start doing things at the senior level, because it seemed like they were going on the right path. And Ivory Coast, they gave the Super Falcons so much work in the qualifiers for the last women's AFCON, and it's kind of a big shocker in that regards when you think about how hard it was for the Super Falcons to get past them. And I even said this, that I felt like they would have done good at the women's AFCON. But once again, they're not going there because they lost to Tanzania on aggregate. First of all, the first leg ended 2-0 in favor of Ivory Coast in Ivory Coast. Then goes the second leg, and they concede 2 second-half goals. 2-0 in regulation. They go into penalty shootout, and Tanzania wins that by 4-2, and that's all she wrote for Ivory Coast and the women's AFCON qualifiers. They're gone. Tanzania moves on, and we'll see how things work out with them going forward in these qualifiers. Then another big shocker was Cameroon. Cameroon, of all people, they're out of the women's AFCON. They lost to Kenya. Kenya beat them on aggregate. Once again, another penalty shootout situation. First leg ends 1-0 in favor of Cameroon. Then the second leg ends 1-0 in favor of Kenya. They go into penalty shootout, and it ends 4-3 in favor of Kenya. And they move on to the next round. They're going to be taking on the winner between Gabon and Botswana. That's crazy right there. 2 big teams that are knocked out of this competition. and you just don't know what you're gonna be expecting in the next round. Some other crazy score lines. You got Ghana doing their thing. They won their first leg by 7-0 against Rwanda. Second leg ends 5-0. They got a new coach over there, new system. Seems like the players are loving it, and seems like the fans obviously are loving it. 7-0, 5-0. That's 12-0 if my math is correct, and that's crazy right there. But anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. How do you feel about the next round matchup for the Super Falcons? And how do you feel about these shockers right here? Cameroon and Ivory Coast not in the next women's AFCON. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And please don't forget to like this video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.